This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So guys, did you get a chance to work on Ansible, like the ad hoc commands?
Yes, sure.
Okay, any questions on that?
No, Shiva, clear so far.
Okay, and we are supposed to discuss playbooks today, right?
Yes.
Okay, and did we set up the second server, by the way?
Ansible node, right? Yes.
And okay, did I copy the SSH configuration files to it?
Yes, Shiva.
Okay, fine.
I mean, we were able to connect to a node and pass those commands, ad hoc commands.
Okay, okay, fine, that's good. Let me connect. How about others? Were you able to do those things, guys? Okay, so I have this thing up and running, guys. Let me open up a document, Ansible playbook document. So what is a playbook, guys? Now, what is it you understand by playbook? So basically, so far what we did was we are able to execute some commands on the servers, right? And why is this controller, the name hasn't come up? Okay, we have it. And hostname CTL. Okay. So we are able to execute some ad hoc command. Let's say example, I want to install some package or something. We'll say Ansible and then the node and hyphen m module, and we just say ping, and it goes out to the server and then pings the thing. But if I have to do this task repeatedly on multiple nodes, I don't think doing these ad hoc commands would help me, guys. That's where we are coming into the concept called playbooks. So what is a play now? A single action that we are going to do is a play. Maybe installing some service, maybe installing some components, maybe configuring something, is all written in a script, and that script in Ansible that we are calling. Yeah, guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, Shiva.
Yeah, there was some network issue. I don't know why I see some network thing. Okay.
Okay.
This is what it looks like. Okay, but we'll try to understand what is what, and we will try to build a complete playbook here. This example has everything in it to explain what is what, but I'll talk about these things. So each playbook is composed of one or more plays. Now, play is nothing but the tasks, guys. Okay, installing. The other day we have installed the HTTPD packages. We restarted the service, and then we copied the index file. But I was able to do that in three different commands. So I can put that in one single script, which is a playbook, and execute that. So in that case, installing a package is a play, running a service is a play, copying the index.html file is a play. So combination of plays is nothing but a playbook. We can call them tasks. Okay, like that, guys. See, this is it's just a one play. For just starting, we are having verify.yml, which contains one play. What does it do? First, it starts with this host. What is a host now? Host will define what it has to do. Now, let's say example before we actually get in there. Say this is one play. Okay, this entire thing that you see is one play that is going to install a HTTPD. Fine, I have defined one host here. Where it is running on my web server. But I want a playbook which will do a web configuration as well as a DB configuration, web and DB. In this case, I need to define two playbooks, and how am I going to do that? That I'm going to do in this case, guys. You see, where I have divided my host sessions into two. One is a web server host and other is a database. I'm just telling you the ways of doing it. Okay. So within one playbook, I can write two different hosts. Now, all of these tasks will be executed on my web server, and these tasks will be executed on my DB server. So like this, you can segregate one play to and tell that you can run them on multiple hosts, guys. Now, any questions on what is a playbook or what is a play here, guys?
Shiva, are we
Before we get
using
further,
are we
yeah,
using JSON file like
it's not a
Java?
JSON file; it's a YAML file.
Okay.
Ansible uses only YAML.
Okay.
Okay, we are
Yeah.
using YAML file here. This is YAML syntax. We'll get through it. Any more questions? Okay. Now talking about hosts and users. Okay, so let me open up a document here and ls. Let me call mkdir Ansible, or let's get into the Ansible only. cd/etc Ansible ls, and let me create a file here. Okay, vim play one dot YAML. We can give the extension as YAML or YML, guys. Both are supported. Both are the same. Dot YAML or YML. Enter. So in the very beginning, in the syntax, we studied that every file, every Ansible file or AML file will start with 3 dots, and it ends with, so three dashes and ends with 3 dots, and in between we are going to write whatever we want, guys. Okay, so hyphen, the first thing is host. Host will define on which host would you like to run your tasks. Okay, where you want to execute. So where is this picking these values from? Let's say node. Okay, let's say node. Now if you get into my host file, cat/host, if you see, I gave node, web and db, right? So this is a pattern that I'm taking. If I'm giving here, instead of nodes, if I say all, what does that mean, guys? It is going to execute the below given task on all the available nodes. But if I'm giving web, it is going to run. That means this host, it is picking up the values from the host file that we have defined. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what this host, that means every file will start with this host. Now, after that, see now, my cursor is at hyphen, right? It should not be there. It should be below the H. So we need to follow that spaces there. It says remote underscore user. You don't have to define this. Even if you define, you can define it. Now I'm telling that whatever the task that I'm defining below, okay, should be executed as a root user. It may be a different user in the other system. If you have other user, let's say Shiva, I can define that, okay, now the remote user should be executing as a Shiva user. Okay, let's put root there. Next thing is tasks. Now what am I going to do is task. So go back to task. Okay, take one space, hyphen, and name. That means name defines the task name. Whenever you are executing your playbook, it will tell you that, okay, now I'm executing this, now I'm executing this, now I'm executing like this. Now testing connectivity or testing connection to the node server. Now I'm going to use the module ping. Okay, and then remote, and I'm just using the same thing here, guys, root. Got it? Now save it. This is how a playbook will start with, guys. So instead of task, you can define anything like, like this example. If you see here, service name is nginx, status start. Okay, but let's try this, the ping command, and see what happens now. Now I've just defined the play, and what we can do is, if you're not aware of, so what happened, so there are some online portals which can help you get the syntaxes, guys. AML syntax checker. So this we can use, like AML int is one thing that you can use. Paste it and say go. It says syntax is valid. Okay, now I can use it. Ansible hyphen playbook space my play name, play.yml. It says gathering facts, and what does it say, guys? It has executed, and see the task, it gave my name, whatever I give, testing connection to node server. It has successfully executed. But if you observe here, whenever it is executing, first it is trying to gather facts. What is this, guys? Gathering facts. I think I told you this. Can anyone tell me? Gathering facts.
Does it store all the information of the node server? I mean,
Exactly. So before it executes anything on the node server, it is going to collect all the information. Now, what does this fax has? This fax has the entire information of the server, such as the user, the node, what is the IP address, what is the RAM, what is the CPU, what is the network address. All the component modules information is stored in the facts, guys. Okay, so like I said, if you want to execute a same play on different operating systems, I can define a condition. If your OS distribution is Red Hat, use module M. If your OS distribution is Ubuntu, then use apt-get as a module, like that. But to do that, your Ansible has to collect the facts. So that happens by default. Got it? Now it has executed only on one server. Let's say, let's get back to my playbook. VIM play. Instead of web, let me set all.
Sure, what is play recap?
Where is that?
Actually, it's below task testing. Okay.
Which one?
KITP. Yeah, yeah, that
I
one.
mean, see, that means, let's say now it is executing only 3 nodes, right? If you're running it on 100 nodes now, it will tell you if there is any error. It will tell you that, okay, the specific node is not available. Okay, let me show you that. In order to do that, I need to host. Let me say this local host 1, which means this host is not available, by the way, right? Now, understood what is recap? Recap will tell you that, okay, it is not running on a specific local host 1. Now you are going to do that. Now when I do ls, okay, and you have this and says that this is what it is. It's a kind of recap of the entire play, like what is, how many are success, how many are not success, how many changes it has done, okay, how many failed, how many skipped. It is going to give you the entire recap of the entire play that has been executed. Got it? Yep. So the other couple of things, guys, okay, I'm not going to spend time here, but I will explain you how that works. See, when you are trying to do it on the remote, right, you can also define like this. Host, web server, remote host is your name. And if you want to do it on the other place, you can become yes, become underscore user post. All of these are valid only, right? Different things and different things and different versions, they have different things to say. So here, hosts all order sorted in the sense how you want to execute the nodes. Like the other thing is inventory, reverse inventory, sorted, reverse sorted, shuffle. When you say this order, this thing, it will actually do based on these things. Like if you have huge inventory based on the words and all it can do. Let us try that. And gather underscore facts. So these spaces are very, very important, guys. If one is messed up, the entire playbook would go wrong. Order sorted, okay. And gather underscore facts, I said false. Now what happens is when you executed, you are able to see that it is gathering facts. Now it will not do that. Okay, it says, see, there is error. Now let's copy this. Okay, let's copy this and get into the AML checker, because there is an issue with the syntax. Let's see what it will tell. Sometimes even these guys will not work properly. Yes, there is a problem. It says at the sixth, see guys, why? There is one space here, but if you clearly observe here, you won't get to see that, you know, difference. But here in the AML checker, you can see there is a space, because of which it is not executing it. Now let me correct that. So initially when you're working, guys, these kind of issues will come up. So that's the reason I'm just trying to show you. Sorry, VIM.
Sure, like we have to start with hyphen, right? So in every case,
What
like
is that?
while executing, you said like we have to start with the hyphen initially. Yeah,
We have it, right?
yeah. So we have to definitely give that.
Not required. Not required. That's the best practice just to tell you, but that's not needed.
Okay.
See, did it collect the facts? Okay, let me remove the host files now. VIM host. See, it didn't do the gathering facts, right? Because I said gathering facts is yes. Now first it is executed on 172.35, 154, local host, and 131. Okay. Let us change the order of execution. Right. We want this to be in the reverse order. We can define like uh, reverse sorted. Sorted is what? Reverse inventory. So everybody, guys, everybody has to follow these documents only. But I just you need to understand where to use what. That's it. No, because we haven't defined anything on the the host names and all. It is not taking up the values. But if there any case that you want to do the reverse of the inventory and all of those things, you can define that with the help of these things. And tasks. Now you understand what is a task now, right, guys? So every playbook has these things. One is this part which defines what it has to do. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to define two tasks here. So for this, there is a tool, guys, which is very helpful for you, which is Visual Studio. I don't think I have that installed, but it is very handy. If you install, that will be really good. Just install Visual Studio code, which will help you in writing the code easily instead of writing in these things, right? It will be very good here. Let me do that. Let me show you how it will work. There are different tools, but Visual Studio is one thing which is really helpful. It has plugins in it, and it works with most of the things. You guys can install this. finish, and let me open up. See, this is how it looks like, guys. Okay, now you can just open a folder. Let me do that. uh, DevOps, let me say new folder, Ansible, select folder. That comes up now. See, now I can create a file where I would say play1.yaml. Okay, and it will help me now whenever I'm writing like host. So it is very easy for me to work with. See, intonations and all. And I want to put one more host files, copy, paste, and I can define the tasks here. So it is easy for me to work. Where is that? Now I'm going to define the tasks. Tasks. So I'm writing two playbooks here where it will say one I need to run on a web, other I want to run it on DB. Node. Understood, guys, what I'm trying to do? I'm just trying to write these things on two in the playbook so it is easy for me to edit these things. I'm telling that on second thing I want gather underscore false true. On one node I want to collect the information, on other I don't want to. So copy this and go back to your tool and say vim play2 dot yaml. I don't think copy insert. Okay, it worked. Mm. And see, there are no three dashes here, and I'm also removing this thing. Now Ansible hyphen playbooks play2.yml. It says that clearly it has executed play on node, test is done, and play db. It is gathering facts here and it is done. This is how we run the plays on different nodes, guys. Understood? This is one way of defining it. Any questions so far, guys, in terms of using this thing? So this is very handy, guys. So if I want to do the same thing on my this direct here, it will take a lot of time. But here, copying and pasting, editing, it has a good color indentations. It is really good for me to work with. Any questions here? The host section and the task section. So let us try to define one more tasks here. Okay. Hyphen name. So here one important thing is name colon. You have to give the space, guys. You cannot do this way. Name space and space. It will not work. Name immediately colon and then you have to give space to do anything. Say install web server on the remote system. So for that, what is it I'm going to use, guys? Yum. And then followed by what? The package name. Okay, let me see the way the package is denoted. One moment, guys. One sec. So here name is equal to whatever that I'm going to do. So let's say NGI or HTTPD, okay, and the state is equal to present. Now what it will do, it is going to install a package called HTTPD on my remote server. Okay, let this be like this. Copy this. I'm only copying one play here. Vim httpd dot yml insert. Now Ansible hyphen playbook dash httpd dot yml. See, it has actually installed web service, but if you see here, it doesn't look like it has done the task on the second one. Reason, we have already configured httpd on the node 2 load one. Let me uninstall that.
Sure, where exactly we are seeing that it is not installed on second one?
No, because if it is
Yeah.
installed, it will give you the output.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm doing it. Sudo su hyphen m remove httpd. Okay, done. Now when you execute it, you will see the difference. So it is taking time, right? And it says changed because it has installed it. When I rerun it again, it would show everything in green because it's already there. Understood? Now, since I've started it, will I be able to access this on the remote server now? I mean, if I can get the node, get the public IP, open it, I won't be able to access it. Why?
Haven't
Because
defined the port.
port, no, I haven't started the service yet, right?
Uh-huh.
So how do I write the service again? Again, I'm going to use hyphen name
from CTO.
starting the HTTPD service. What is the module that I'm going to use? Service name,
Service.
service is the module. Okay. And name of the service is equal to HTTPD, and state is equal to started. And I want to make sure it is restarting is enabled whenever you are booting. Enable is equal to yes. Now what it will do, it will start the service and make sure it is started at any point of time and it is enabled on reboots.
Shiva, name you haven't given the correct name, like HTTP SD you have given.
Now see, that's what. This name can be anything. It is for us to
Okay.
understand what your playbook is doing. Okay, let that be like that so that you understand. Okay, that's my typo error, but since you asked, let it be like that. That is just for a see here. Whenever the task is running, it gives an output like this so that you understand what your Ansible playbook is doing at what point of time. I'm sorry, I re-executed it. Oh, I copied that. No problem. Okay, copy it. Now rerun it. See, starting the HTTPD service. It is just for us to read. It's a kind of message for us. It has got nothing to do with the task. But if I am misspelling the service here, let's say instead of HTTPD, I say the same thing, it would give me an error. Let's try that again. See, it gave us an error, right? Because it doesn't exist. So the name is nothing but a message that you're trying to give so that it understands, okay, whenever it is executing, you understand the series of steps that what it is doing.
Okay.
And like this, you can next thing is to copy a file, right? And you can use what copy module to copy it and all. Any questions here, guys, so far?
Shiva, like in work, like how many tasks we will be having? Like there are any specific tasks?
So
Like
usually what we do is, we don't actually define this way. We define things in a different thing. Like example, let's say you are supposed to have 2 servers or 3 servers. One moment. You're talking about a web three-tier architecture, a web, an app, and a DB. Okay. In this case, we cannot just write a different place here. Instead, what we do is that we create a playbook. We create what? Playbook. Now, this playbook has certain architecture. It has certain folders called roles. Okay, but I'm not going to create everything from the scratch, guys. Okay, but what I'll do is I'll download certain playbooks, sample playbooks, and I'm going to explain you. It has certain roles. Okay, and it has some variables like variable folders. We can call it group vars or vars, and it has main file which is site.yml. Okay, so whenever you are this is the package that you get in the playbook. So once you open a playbook, these are the folders that you get to see, and it may also have the host files. Okay, so what it is going to do, first you are going to trigger this site.yml file, and this site.yml file will have the information of what it has to do. Like now in this example, in our example, we said role, like we said host. Host is what host one, node, and DB we said. But there we can say roles. Now, when I say role, it is going to pick up this specific roles here. Within the roles, I will have three things now. One is web, app, DB. These are three roles. Within web, we will have what? We will have tasks and templates, a different folder altogether. It will have two more folders. One is tasks, other is templates. Templates may be not needed, but task. Now task will have this play. So whenever you are executing this, it is going to work like that. So shall we work on this, guys? Shall I show you how it will work? A simple tasks. Shall we do it? How does
Yeah.
the roles work? Because in Ansible, this is what important. Knowing the directory structure is important, but what goes inside the directory is all the development skills, guys. Okay, we follow the documents to put everything in place and all, but let's try doing this, okay, so that you actually understand what it has got and all. We will also use Ansible Galaxy, which will help us, but let us understand this flow, how these roles are executed and stuff. Okay.
Okay,
For that, I'm not going to use this thing, but I'll use this folder here. Okay, let this be like this. First, let me create a folder, and one moment. Folder, I'm going to call it roles. Okay, and inside the roles, I'm going to create uh, two more folders. Let me call it web, and one more folder. Let me call it DB. Okay, inside the web, let me create one more folder, which is going to be tasks. Okay, and inside the tasks, we am going to create a file which is install underscore httpd dot yml. Okay, and one sec. Okay, that should be fine. And let's forget about DB for now. Okay, let's forget about DB. We'll see how it first. We'll try to work on this. Now create one more file here. Not here, my bad. It should be in the Ansible folder. Okay, here I'm going to call it site.yml. And I've understood what I did, guys. Let me just refresh. I created a folder. Let me change the color. Red. There is a folder called Ansible. Inside this, I created a roles, and inside the roles, I created two more files, which is web and DB. And inside the web, I created one more folder called tasks. Inside this, I have my httpd.yml, right? And in the Ansible folder, I created one more file now, which is sort.yml. So whenever I'm executing a play, or playbook, I am not going to touch roles and everything. All I am bothered is to run this site.yml. When I execute this site.yml, this site.yml will get into the roles. It executes the tasks on whatever the nodes that we have defined. Clear? Any questions here? Guys, can you hear me?
Shiva,
Yeah, sure.
in
Yeah.
site.yml, will you give anything? I mean, in roles and
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah. I'm going to give that. I'm going to give that.
Okay, okay, fine. I mean, in site.yml, will we be having 2 to 3 roles?
So in site.yml, you are going to define the tasks, saying that okay, this task has to be executed on web, this task has to be executed on DB, like that.
Okay, okay, fine.
Okay. Let's say hyphen name. Okay. And let's say this is to show how the roles work in a playbook. Okay. Now I'm going to define hosts. Okay. Now host what? On which host? Let's say maybe what should I say? Node. Okay. And I'm going to say that roles. What is my role name, guys? Web. Understood? Usually, when we're defining this, we tell that this instead of roles, we gave what tasks, and we define what is that we have to do. Yes or no? But here, I am telling that this on this specific thing node, it has to do this thing. Okay, let me put one more thing. Let me do one more thing. Let us put common here, which is very common. Okay, not this. Inside the roles, let me create one more folder. Let's say common. Okay, common is a folder. One sec, guys. Now this common also has a folder which is tasks. Inside the tasks, there is a folder. Let's say main.yml. Okay, in this main.yml, I'm going to put my play that I've defined before, not this, a ping one, which I'll take from here. Copied, common, aml, paste. Okay, it is going to gather the facts. Fine. Control S, it will save. See, if you see dots here, which means the file is not saved. And when you say control yes, the file will be saved. Now I'm going to say host all, and the role is common. Now hyphen name, it says test connection to all the nodes available. And I can give a comment here. This is to see how roles work in Ansible. Now, next thing is a name. I would say install HTTPD service on the web server. And which host I'm going to define? Host, node, and roles. What is a role, guys? Web. This is the file that I would be, sorry, my bad, web control S. Now, does my web has any file installed? Did I have anything defined here? No, I haven't defined anything, but let this be like this. But how am I going to copy this to my server? My bad. Oh shit, man. Mm, So this is where the Git comes into picture, guys, where I can push this into my Git. Okay, let's do that, by the way, so that you also will have some idea how things works. Where is that? Desktop, DevOps, Ansible. I'm here. Git bash and say git space init git add dot, okay, and git commit hyphen a hyphen m sample Ansible. Done. And then git push, but I need to have a remote repository, by the way. Now let me get back to my GitHub. Guys, are you following along? Any confusions here? Acknowledge once, please.
You have one
I'm
small
trying.
confusion.
Yep.
Where did you pull that file like from for Git?
I haven't pulled it.
Okay.
I created a repository and I want to push it, but if I want to push it, I need to have my this thing, right? Repository.
Yeah.
I'm trying to create one.
You're pushing the entire code to Git repository, and then from server you'll be pulling it
Exactly.
from Git.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say Ansible lab create repository. Now on my local, I'm going to add this thing which says I'm adding this as a remote repository. Git remote add, done, and then finally say git push. Origin master. It should ask me for the login. Yes. S for cloud. I gave the details. So it has pushed now. I should be able to see the code on my remote server. Just refresh the page. I have filed it. Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to clone this on this server, right? So let me say mkdir playbooks, cd playbooks, git clone. I can do a clone, paste it. See, I have it here, right? Oh, I gave a different spelling. Typo error, no problem.
As
See,
simple.
I have it here, right? I somehow copied it to my local thing. Now, how do I run it? How do I run it? Ansible hyphen
Playbook
playbook space
site.yml.
YML. Yes. Oh, syntax error. Name. Okay, let's fix that. Which line it says? Within the
Line 7.
site.yml.
You have put Ansible instead of Ansible.
That shouldn't be a problem. Here, see, this is the problem. You see this? There is no space. This should work.
Sure, we can't directly like copy it from Visual Studio. It is not possible, right?
No. So, but you can integrate your Visual Studio with Git again.
Uh-huh.
Common spelling is also wrong. This is what happens, guys, with when you're editing here. You can integrate directly your. Hey, what's happening? Host, roles, web, common. Okay, where it is telling me. See now. Earlier, I was able to fix the in site.yml. Now the error is where within my common tasks main.yml. The error is there. Vim roles common tasks main.yml. This looks good, right? What was the error here? The error appears to be in this line 3, column 3, but maybe elsewhere in the file depending on the exact type bool, unexpected parameter type in action. Yeah, someone was saying something, guys, somewhere, some mistake. Why? What's the problem? Hmm. All looks good. Okay, let me do one more thing. Ansible hyphen playbook main.yml. This is being executed, right? Uh-huh. But when I'm calling this out from my this thing, it is not coming up. Okay. cd/etc. Just bear with me, guys. Playbooks ls cd snibble ls. Let's verify site.yml looks good. Install httpd host nodes. Oh, problem again there. Vim site.yml, there is no nodes, right? There is only node. In the host file, I only have node. Okay, let's try it. Not that. Okay. Vim roles common tasks main.yml. This should work now. I'll tell you why, what happened. Yes. That's the problem, guys. It worked, right? But now if you observe the flow cat site.yml, here I'm already defining the host pattern, right? I'm telling that this role common has to be executed on all the host. It did connectivity. It did test the connectivity. Yes or no? And in the same way, in the main.yml file of the common, I also specified the host pattern, because of which it is not running. It is not able to get that point. It says that the offending line appears to be this, but it is not able to read this. Why? It is, again, it will do a different host pattern there. Clear? Guys, confusion clear? Understood what was the problem?
So already all the hosts have been covered in site.yml. Is that the point?
Yes, the host pattern is already covered in site.yml file.
So we need not specify again in main.yml.
Again in the common, yes, exactly. And if you observe here, play install httpd service on the website. Did that execute, guys?
No, I mean it's already installed, right?
It's already installed. Okay. Do we have this? It's gone. Shiva AWS 123. Sudo su hyphen. Okay. And then remove httpd. Done. It's not available. Let's try run it. Did it run? Because common cd vim roles common, so not common roles web task install httpd. That's empty, right? My this thing web is empty. So here I can define hyphen insert hyphen name install httpd on the remote node server, and package is going to be yum, and name is going to be httpd. Okay, and then and the state present. Okay, and next thing is name, start the service. Okay, and module name service, and name is equal to httpd, state is equal to started, and enabled is equal to yes. So the reason why we are using roles is that roles will help us to reuse the playbook on different environments. Okay, now there is no remote available here. There is no service. Let's verify system ctl status httpd. See, service not found. Now let us execute the playbook now. I'm executing site.yml. It will pick up the roles. If you see what happened, vim site.yml host node web. Oh, okay. So let me put one more thing here, guys. Vim main.yml. Okay, so I have already written a playbook. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a function called include here, guys. Include install underscore httpd.yml. I think it should make you understand what I'm doing now. So whenever you are using a concept of roles, the file syntax should be main.yml only. But I have given install.httpd, which is not able to recognize. Then what I did, I used a main.yml and told that include this thing, which means it is going to execute main.yml. Inside that, I have used a module called include, and that include is going to get the install underscore httpd file there, guys. Understood? Just making sure the spelling is, yep. Is that clear? Now when I execute it, you will see Ansible hyphen playbook site.yml. Now it is installed. Understood, guys? So whenever we are using the concept called roles has certain thing which is common, web, DB. Now DB is executed only on DB servers. Web is executed only on web servers. That's what we call. And you just say that it has a tasks, and tasks will have the concept called main.yml. That main.yml will be executed. Is that clear?
I mean, this is all about organizing the playbooks concept, right?
See, that is the main directory structure. Even if you go to interview, people will ask you the directory structure of a playbook.
Okay, Shiva.
Okay, so we'll further customize this, guys. We'll edit these roles. I'll try to put these things in detail, and then we'll try to add couple of things. We have a concept called templates. Okay, we have a concept called variables. We'll try to discuss them tomorrow. Clear? So we'll customize this only. The same thing, we'll try to modify it based on our requirement, and then we'll do it.
Shiva,
Yeah.
Shiva. Actually, like I'm not able to find this AMIs like CentOS and in Amazon
Where you're searching?
in the marketplaces only, but it's not showing the free tier.
No,
So,
no,
is
don't
there
go to
any?
marketplace. Select the community edition.
Okay,
Select the
hello.
community edition,
Okay.
and there select CentOS,
Mhm.
and in the search bar type CentOS space 7.
Sorry.
In the search bar, search for CentOS 7.
Okay,
Type
okay,
CentOS space 7. You should be able to find it. You have CentOS private image of fourth or the fifth one.
okay.
Okay. Okay, guys.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good day, guys. See you tomorrow.